You ready? You ready?
Yeah,
Ready like spaghetti on ready? Okay.
my throat is properly lubricated. Pause.
Bro, we are recording right now.
Oh, hey! Hey, welcome back to the Village in the Skreets. I am Dr.griffs.
My name is Bam.
And what's been going on with you lately, man?
Nothing too crazy. So like in terms of life in general, so like I like to experiment with my fitness routines. This is just the thing that's most prevalent on my mind right now. So I was doing this more of this like hypertrophy, which for those of you guys that don't know what hypertrophy means, it means muscle building routine, and doing more cardio because I was trying to lean out for the summer. But man, that got really boring after the first 3 to 4 weeks of doing that. And so for me, I really just like lifting heavy. Like I like to lift heavy. So I'm not like a pure power lifter, but I do like bodybuilding along with that. So I guess I would consider myself more of a power builder. Right, so like yesterday I finally like went back to just lifting heavy, get back into the enjoyment of it, because I feel like if you want to do something consistently, the more you can enjoy that thing, the better. And so for me, it was like getting back to my roots in terms of doing the workouts I enjoy. And there's so many different ways of like getting that goal. Like still the goal is to get that 6 packs for the summer, right? But you could modify your nutrition. Of course, you can modify like the type of workouts you're doing to, optimize for that. So there's a more optimal way of getting the 6 packs for the summer, which would be more high intensity interval training, cardio, and like, of course, obviously cutting down your calories. But for me to consistently keep enjoying working out, which is being more like on the more big, bulkier kind of side of things, I would have to dive more deeply into the modification of my diet instead of the modification of my workout plans, because I just know for me, like working out is such a good stress reliever for me. And so like if I'm not enjoying my workout, I'm more likely to quit and drop off from doing it. So in terms of work, I'm a big workout person, so that's one of the things that's like prevalent on my mind today. But in terms of YouTube's been having fun with creating more of the like working with dr.griffs on creating the aesthetics and stuff for the channel for the Village in the Skreets, and getting scheduling down, getting the thumbnails down. Also, for you guys that are like watching this video right now, that you obviously like you saw what the thumbnail was, let us know what your opinion about the thumbnail was. Like, how do you like it? Do you think, just give your opinion about it, just your general vibe about it, right? But yeah, we're just I've been focusing quite a bit on getting everything kind of almost systematic for the Village in the Skreets in terms of the back end type stuff. So just making sure the scheduling is editing correctly, still getting the feel of like how I want to like just make things super simple so that we can just pump out more content as possible. So after I get that fully cleared up and focused, I could spend a lot more time just because like my personal channel takes so much more creative effort. And so like once this is systemized and taken care of, yeah, I could go back to like just like pumping out content from my channel and stuff.
Cool, yeah. For me, so my day job is getting pretty ramped up right now. So after this week, things should get a bit more consistent. Like I had a schedule before, but now I might be working in the nighttime or the morning time, work night, then morning, flip flop. So I think next week, within 2 weeks, I should be used to the schedule. So I'm thinking by June, and it's not, as of this recording, June's not too far away. So by June, for me, I think I'll have a new leaf on life. I'll be entering another rotation. So I plan to hit the ground running, maybe physically as well as theoretically. So yeah, hopefully by after my birthday, things should be a bit more smooth for me.
Turn up.
What happened?
Turn up.
Yeah, turn up.
Yeah. Okay. Anything in terms of have you come up with any new music mixes, or everything has just kind of been like pretty busy and tight?
I've been looking at my keyboard. My keyboard is in my bedroom. This is kind of part of my bedroom. So I've been looking at it. I'm thinking one day I'll get back to it, but I just been flip-flopping. It's hard for me to stay consistent with some things. I have been consistent with my push-ups. I've been doing 25 push-ups in a day and a night, and my arms feel like getting a little bit more tone. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to show off nothing. I don't know. Guns are legal in the state that I'm at, so I'm a high B. But yeah, I've been trying to be a bit more consistent. I haven't been making as much music, but I've been listening to some new music. J. Cole dropped his latest album, the Offseason, and there's some heat on it. Are you a J. Cole fan?
Well, I've listened to some of his music. I did listen to his album yesterday. And it is, I will say, so preface this for everybody, right? When it comes to like pop culture and music, if you want a person that probably will score the lowest on a pop culture test, that's probably going to be me, so like, so literally it has to be like friends like dr.griffs that kind of be like, yo, did you hear about this person? And be like, no, I have not. Well, here's the music. Okay, I'll listen to it. So it's like, I'm still trying to get the feel of like listening to lyrics to songs and stuff, but there was like I think 2 songs that really like stood out to me, because I'm kind of like a very like hype brain kind of person. Like I like songs that like hype me up. So I think the last song, I think Hungry on Hillside, I think something about
that one stood out to you? Interesting.
Yeah, that was the one that like really like stood out. There was another one that he was just going off about, like just telling like a story, and I really found that was interesting. I forget which one that was. Hold on, let me go to the album. Bam, 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 bam.
While you look for it, I'll tell you my favorite off the album. Mm-hmm. It's probably definitely My Life.
I think it was that song.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, great minds think alike. Yeah. Do you know the song "A Lot" with 21 Savage and J. Cole? How much money you got? A lot. So when I was listening to My Life for the first time, I was like, this reminds me of a song. I'm like, I don't know what song it reminds me of, but it reminds me of something. And then the second verse happens and 21 Savage comes in. I said, that's what it reminded me. It reminded me of a lot. Because like, I don't know, something about the sample, something about the texture of the music. I was like, I feel like I heard something like this before. So when 21 Savage came on that track, I ain't gonna hold you, I was a little hyped. Yeah. It was like, I ain't gonna say I stayed up to hear J. Cole's album. But at 11:50, I was looking at the time. I said, okay, it's not midnight yet. It was a long 10 minutes. So when it got to 12 o'clock, I might have looked for the album.
So wait a second. Oh, you mean like on Thursday, like at 11?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It might have been, Thursday, 11:50. I might have been looking at my phone, like, okay, it's not up there yet. All right. And I might have stayed up to about 1 o'clock till the whole album was finished. That might have happened. I ain't gonna say I'm a crazy J. Cole fan. I ain't gonna say all that.
What is?
And then
I was gonna say, what is it about J. Cole's music that, like, maybe you could say this? Oh, you could answer this after you were about to say your thing. But What is it about J. Cole's music? Because like J. Cole's vibe to me is like very like on the more like laid back, super chill side of things. So based on this album I listened to, and then the other song that I remember from J. Cole is like Middle Child. So it always gives me like a very laid back kind of chill vibe. And for me as an individual, I'm always looking for something to like get my heartbeat up. So that's why I appreciate the songs when he had like 21 Savage like on the song, because it's like, hyped it up a little bit more for me. I think on the last one, the last one felt like the most hypest one, the Hillside one. And I was just like, yeah.
It's the Brooklyn in you. You want to hear some drill music. You want to hear the shoot, kill, to pump some iron through. That's the music you like. I think for me, so when I came to college all these moons ago, I didn't really listen to rap music. So, I mean, I'm from the Bronx, so rap is all around me. But my older siblings, they would listen to like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, anime theme songs, just random music. You know, like I feel like the hottest rapper out was not playing in my house. So when I got to college and I was doing some late nights, some overnighters, you know, I may or may not have procrastinated every single semester. I remember one time I was in the library and I was like, yo, I'm gonna be here for a while. I'm gonna be here probably all night. I actually listened to some music. So I started listening to random artists, and I listened to Kanye's like album that had All Falls Down, not Sunday morning. Heard Him Say. You know those songs? Oh, okay.
I could know. Wait, I could know those songs.
Nothing lasts forever, but be promise me. Okay, that's a horrible rendition of it. Heard Him Say. I can't believe I'm blanking on the lyrics right now. I literally listen to All Falls Down like every day.
Wait, how's the tempo going?
All falls down, and then all right.
No.
It said, I promise. She's so subconscious. She has no idea what she's doing in college. The major that she making will make no money, but she won't drop out. Parents look at her funny. Nah, tell me that ain't insecure. The concept of school seems so secure. Sophomore 3 years, ain't picked the career. She's like, I'll just stay down here and do things because that's enough money to buy her a few things. I ain't a rapper.
It actually sounds good though. It actually sounds good though.
That was like Kanye, like that's Kanye I like grew up watching. MTV channel like 49 or 50. All Falls Down video. He's walking through the airport, t-shirt on, with the pink shirt on. The kid throws mustard on it. It's like a POV video for Kanye's POV. It's a good video. You know what I'm saying? And Heard Him Say with Maroon 5. You gotta check them out, man. That's classic Kanye. Classic Kanye. Let me drop in the comment section what Kanye songs y'all like. Come on, y'all like Kanye, right?
I listen to Power. You know what I'm saying? I listen to Power.
No one man should have all this power. Okay,
yeah.
That's I get it. That's a powerful song. But Heard Him Say, All Falls Down. If you ever hear me DJing and I'm like throwing some background music that you just vibe out to, I'm probably playing those two songs. Like 95 out of 100%. Cause it's like you can listen to it. You know, it's not heavily in profanity, and it's just like good songs. So that night, I listened to that album, the albums that had those two songs on it. I think it might have been Graduation and Late Registration. And then it's 2014. So 2014, Forest Hill Drive came out. I think that's the name of J. Cole's album. And I listened to it from top to bottom. And that was the first time, that night was like the first time I sat there and listened to albums. And J. Cole just had a lot of heat on it. You know what I'm saying? There's a song called Wet Dreams. Have you heard that?
I think so, actually. I think so.
The concept of Wet Dreams is J. Cole is describing someone, if not himself, the first time they had sex. And it takes place in their high school, and it's just about both parties, him and the girl, are lying about their sexual experience.
Yes. I think that's actually, like, that's when he's like telling about like, oh, like how nervous he is about it and stuff, right? Yeah, I think that was actually the first time I've heard any song or music by J. Cole. And that's why I feel like, I don't know, something about him doing that was just like so honest, right? It's like I love it when people are just straight up and honest with their experience about things. And it's just like, yeah, because the expectation, I guess, or what isn't an expectation, or like the false narrative or false truth that we all, as like, especially as guys, try to portray is like, oh yeah, we're amazing at sex right out the gate, right? And it's like, how are you going to be amazing at a skill that you've never practiced before in your whole life? And like, especially when you're doing it with a person that you don't know their body and you don't know what they like, or you're supposed to just figure it out like that. That's insane. So I love how J. Cole was just like, yo, this is reality. This is how it is. And I was like, thanks, Jay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like that was a rap song that a lot of people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not some braggadocious rap. So in college, I took this class. It was oh my gosh, it was basically like about rap music. Damn, yo, I feel like an old man now. It was like religion and hip hop, or religion of hip hop. But anyway, shout out to that teacher, Miss G. I don't want to put their name out here, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Miss G if you really know who I'm talking about. Complex subjectivity and dynamical self. That's one of the two things that kept being brought up in the class.
Okay, dynamical self and conscious what?
Complex subjectivity, I believe. I haven't read.
Complex subjectivity.
And a dynamical self. For some reason, that was always the answers to the questions in the class. I had that or that. But in that class, there's braggadocious rap. Where, you know, the giant chains, I got money. You know, if you hear a rap song that says, I got money, I got women, I got clothes, I got cars, that's like a braggadocious rap. Then there's, you know, gangster rap, where it's like, I spun the block, shot at my ops, and I kill some. You know what I'm saying? That's that's like thug rap. And then there's, you know, there's like conscious rap, or maybe some early Kanye, some J. Cole, definitely Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? You think of Kendrick, his stuff isn't like, you can't just play it in the background and think you're gonna understand what he's saying. You gotta really analyze the lyrics, like you say you're doing with J. Cole. So I don't know, J. Cole for me, like Kendrick was all the way out there. You know what I'm saying? I think To Pimp a Butterfly was out around that time. You could you have to decipher every single lyric, every single line to really understand what's going on. Like, I feel like you have to study Kendrick Lamar. Then say, like a Chief Keef, I'm a gorilla in the.
Hold on, Dr. Griffs. Could you come back in? Your video's frozen.
Oh, okay. Let me. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Cool.
Yeah, so there's like a Kendrick Lamar that's like very like conscious, very like woke, if we use that term. And there's like a Meek Mill. I used to play for times like this, around like this. That's, you know, that's not his most, you know, unconscious song, but like there's a whole spectrum of music, and I feel like J. Cole for me was nice in the middle. Like he has some hype songs, and he has some songs that make you sit there and think like, wow, okay. And some of the lyrics that really stood out to me from J. Cole, this is in 2014 Forest Hill Drive. He says, let me quote him directly.
Don't worry, the power of editing, we got this.
Okay, J. Cole, he says, nobody has a better life than your own. Oh, okay, that's not the exact quote. Let me hold better. I ain't trying to misquote the man. Hold up. Okay, all right. It's a song. Is Love Yours, like Love Your Life. And the line is, love yours, no such thing as life that's better than yours. Love yours, no such thing as life better than yours. No such thing, no such thing. And that line always stood out to me. I'm like, yo, I see what you're saying. And he's kind of saying like, okay, the song's premise is, I was poor, I'm rich now. I'm telling you this from the other side, that there's no such thing as life better than yours. And he's like, I can understand if you're in poverty and, you know, you're living from check to check to pay your next rent. How could a guy with a Rolex tell you no such thing as life better than yours? And his thesis of the song is kind of like saying, as long as people love you and you have a house or a place where, you know, you feel loved and you call home, then you're good. So it's an interesting premise. I still kind of struggle with that. Cause I think about, like, you know, people in war-torn countries, you know, getting bombed left and right, or our ancestors, the things that they went through. How could we say that no life is better than yours? You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's interesting because I think it's a concept of like conditioning, right? It's like, I think a lot of people like we as, like, you know, living in a first world country, will look at people from like other countries and be like, dang, I could never live under those conditions. But like to those people living in those conditions, some of them might have never experienced what it's like to live under better conditions, and so they just become conditioned to like this. It's almost similar to like I don't know if you had a similar experience, but like living in Brooklyn and going to the public school system, and then going to Rochester is like, I could wear certain colors now with no worries. Like, it's like going back to it is like, dang, I don't want to go back to like not having to wear certain things or always have to look behind like every corner and like do different things. And so, but it's like when we were living in it, it was just life. It was part of like
It's all we knew.
It's all we knew. So you didn't have the expectations of like life being like better, right? So it's almost like it's kind of like around those ideas that like, I don't think, like, people think they will be happier if they traded lives with other people, but there's so many different, like, life, there's no easy roads through life. There's some things that like we struggle with that we want that will solve our present problems, but we basically trade some problems for another problems, right? So like there's some super wealthy people that are probably, some of them might be living like really lavish, fun, great lives, but others might be having like mental conditions, or like, having issues with family, or have issues with making friends, because I think a lot of people that become celebrities or wealthy or famous, they start to lose a lot of their old friends, because their old friends now want to use them for their celebrity, for their finances and stuff. So I think it's just like and it also seems to be very common that like people of a lower class, and I'm putting myself into that category as well, people of a lower class, we always look up to being like, yo, my current problems is I don't have enough zeros in my bank account, and like, you have enough zeros in your bank account, so you're literally, your lifestyle solves all of my problems I'm concerned about. But it seems like a very consistent thing that anytime anybody reaches to like higher levels of wealth is like they solve all of their financial issues, but then they start dealing with, oh shit, oh snap, this is what's going on in here mentally, and this is the people around me. So it's like you're kind of trading problems, right? So it's kind of like that's why I don't think anyone should like really be chasing a bag, but they should be chasing fulfillment in their life. And hopefully fulfillment comes with the bag, but I think ultimately you'll be living a more fulfilling, happy life if you're chasing fulfillment versus just chasing the bag.
I hear what you're saying, but fulfillment can't pay no rent. I ain't gonna hold you. So, like,
You're right.
You haven't changed fulfillment, but your fridge won't be full. I ain't gonna hold you. But of course, there's a Venn diagram. Hopefully, fulfillment and money, there's a nice little intersection where there's some type of financial success. I mean, like, I get what you're saying. Like, I think about celebrities who said something 10 years ago, and now that they made it to this point, their whole thing could be lost, and they're being looked at in a microscope because they're now a celebrity. Mm-hmm. So I definitely see how there's pros and cons to everything. But I think Young M.A. said, would you rather be crying in a Bugatti or crying in a train? I said, when you say it like that,
I mean, you can't argue with that. I'd rather be crying in a Bugatti than in a train. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be having, depression riding in my Tesla.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You said, I'll put on all the power so I can cry. You know what I'm saying? But that's a paraphrase of her quote. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like music just has a way with me. I've always been like a music lover. Like when I was running to school, I would be like, okay, I got 7 minutes. If I listen to these 2 tracks, and I'd run to like dubstep songs. So I'd be jogging, and when the bass drop, I start sprinting. And it was probably me up until end of high school. You know what I'm saying? So I never probably should have been the DJ on campus, because my musical knowledge was very different, eclectic, maybe. I don't know. I had like a kind of Caribbean, Jamaican background, but I wasn't really listening to it like that, my mom had like the Shaggy Hot Shot CD. That CD had It Wasn't Me on it and a whole bunch of other Shaggy songs like Chica Bonita, Angel, and like songs I would listen to when we would plug it into the radio, the CD player. I know that we had a CD player. I don't know if people still have CD players.
That is a relic of the past now.
Yeah.
For you guys, there used to be these circular thingies.
Oh.
These circular thingies that you would put inside this CD drive, right? And then it would play something, right? It's kind of like downloading something from the App Store, you know what I mean? Kind of, but like in real life, though.
If y'all had a PS3, I know that might seem like a very old. There were these games that came in circular form, and you put it in, and it will play a game. So do that with music. Nowadays, people don't walk around with CD players. I had a friend when I was in like 3rd grade. He had like the 50 Cent like CD, and he had brought a CD player to the trip, and he was like the coolest guy because he got a CD player. Like it was lit. Mm-hmm. At some point, the MP3s came in. I had an MP3. I had like 20 songs on the MP3, and I was lit. I said, okay, there's no screws for MP3, so it's all shuffle. So you could choose. So you get lucky when you get the song you wanted to hear.
Oh, you mean like the tiny box ones that just?
Yeah, it was like a flash drive, but it had like you could plug your headphones into. So when I had the Sony Walkman with a screen, it wasn't touchscreen, I was hyped. I said, okay, I got 500 songs. I can choose my song. So music for me has always been just like intertwined with who I am as a person. And I think I'm grateful that I started DJing because that, manifested a different type of, music freedom. Like I could play the lyrics of this song with the instrumental of that song at the same time, and that just kind of opened my eyes to music. But how has music really been impacting you? Like, what do you really listen to?
So me, I really listen to like a lot of like, I just listen to things that get me like really hype, that get me like really like motivated to just like grind and put in work. And I think actually, like when I was talking to you and like just one of our off-air conversations, it was the idea of like, I think you were telling me like, oh yeah, like I listen to a song when I'm like on my bike going to work. I listen to a song when I'm doing this. I listen to music when I'm doing this. When I'm in certain, you basically have like different playlists or different types of music you will play for a variety of different situations. And so I never really thought about doing it that way, right? And because especially when I was going through a little bit more of a sad time in my life, right? I was just like, I never understood the idea of playing, if you're sad, like playing a sad song or listening to like a really sad playlist while you're sad. Like I never understood it because I feel like I've always been so drawn to like breaking out of negative feelings and tapping more into like, oh, just hype me up, just make me happy. Like, I'll listen to like what's the name of the song? Happy.
Don't worry, be happy. By McFerrin. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry.
Yeah, I've listened to that one as well. But it'll be like, stop along and hit you.
Oh, happy, Pharrell.
Yes. So
I'm happy. Yeah, that song.
I would listen to like High Hopes. Like I feel like I had like maybe like I want to say it's like I don't know if like a lopsided view of music where I'll just kind of like listen to music that I felt would put me in a state of just hyped up, ready to go, because I become so driven to just producing, like making results, making products come out and stuff. So a lot of the music I listen to is like more, I listen to a lot of anime intros and background music and stuff, and I listen to the songs that I feel just like get me moving. But recently, I think more so during like 2020, I started listening to like people like Judea and Big Sean, Judena and Big Sean, and I listened to Judena because at that during 2020, I started really thinking about taking the idea of my dreams and ambitions more seriously. And so I felt like Jidenna, like when he had like Chief Don't Run, or I think another one that has like the name something about the king or something. I forget the name. And then they had another song called like Tribe. Like those Chief Don't Run and Tribe and Let Out, but like that was more of a fun one. Those were songs that really like made me feel like what ambitions I have for myself, I have to kind of live up to them. And like one of the ambitions is like making sure anyone I consider part of my tribe is taken care of and as well. And Chief Don't Run is like the idea of, you know, if you're going to be the leader, for me it was like, if I'm going to be the leader of my life and like potentially be the leader of people in the future, then I can't run away. I gotta keep going, you know?
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. For like a whole year, I had the song Bambi by Jidenna on repeat. Bambi is about a guy who was a player, and you know, the girl he loved but kept her, you know, right there, is finally moved on, got with another guy. So he, you know, he's hurt. And I don't know, like, I guess music is, you ever play a game? You ever play like Call of Duty or something like that?
Yeah.
You ever like got like a crazy kill streak in Call of Duty?
Shoot, I got crazy kill streaks in Overwatch for sure.
Yeah. Well, in Call of Duty, I never hit the mythic nuke. I ain't gonna lie to you and say I was nuking people. But then after 26 kill streak, I never got that high. Maybe I had a couple 20s, maybe I had a couple 21s. I might have prayed for the nuke. I thought, I want to nuke these people. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, if you ever get a kill streak more than 21, you have to be streaming. Like, why aren't you a streamer? Like to be able to average that.
That was back in the Modern Warfare 2 days on the PS3, where kids will curse you out and say, your mom's a blah 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 beep beep. You'll say, yo, how are you? Yo, why are you still awake?
White kids just be wild and saying that. So you're just like, bro.
We're just playing this game. It's not that deep. But that's the area I was festering in Call of Duty. But it's like a form of escape. You know what I'm saying? And like maybe you had a bad day, but you're like, I'm gonna nuke these people tonight. Like I said, I never was able to accomplish that. I got a couple Apache helicopters. The real would know. You know, I might have called in some dogs a couple times. The real would know. You know what I'm saying? But I never got to the nuke. But music, video games, media could be a form of escape. You know what I'm saying? Like Ip Man, you watch Ip Man because you're like, yo, maybe one day I could be able to do these martial arts. It'd be so cool to be like the person who trained Bruce Lee. Music, like if you're going through a bad day, sometimes you want to listen to someone who could probably relate to you. You know what I'm saying? Your person cheated on you. Drake probably made a song about that. You know what I'm saying? To be able to listen to somebody, you know, the 90s music videos where it's raining, the shirt's open, and you know, you're looking through the window. Like sometimes you want to really be in that mode, or you know, just experience all of your emotions. Like you mentioned how you want to be hyped, pumped. Sometimes you really just need to experience grief, experience sadness. Just let your body take it all in, or let it all out.
And you know, it's like I feel like I deeply agree with you in terms of that sentiment. Because like when I was like describing it, I was really thinking like, damn. Are you fully aware of like all the feelings going on as like, or because I definitely feel like in like 2018, like I really became really focused on just get things done all the time and like really just force myself to be in that framework. And I think I ignored a lot of I literally saw like feelings like sadness or feeling like anything that brought up like anxiety or negativity. I just looked at that as like, why are you wasting my time? And I just kept moving, which obviously is very unhealthy, right? It's like you got to be able to recognize the emotions. So like anything, including music, that would kind of put me into that space, I felt like I ignored it. The only time I didn't ignore it would be like if when I saw myself from watching like a sad movie or a sad anime, and I'll be like, oh, because it's a cool story, and like I would like literally shed tears, like grown man tears while watching the anime or the show, and I felt like I got some emotional expression through that. But when it came to music, I never thought about it as a form of escapism. I always thought of music as like an additive towards like how you're living life, kind of like you're playing in the background and you're like, yeah, this is my main character background music I'm using to describe how I'm going through. But never really thought about music as like a form of escapism, maybe because music tends to be like very short, 3 to 4 minutes long. But yeah, that's a good way to think about it. So like, I guess I have a little bit more understanding of like why some people, if they're feeling sad or down, will just listen to like a whole album that is like sad or down, right? Because sometimes like when you're like on a date or romancing your girl, you kind of want to play some R&B. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to play I'm a gorilla in the coop. Like, that's not the most romantic thing to listen to. But there are situations where you need music like that. Maybe if you're, you're about to do a bench press and it's closing in on your chest, closing in on your lungs. That might have happened to me maybe once or twice or 5 times. I'm doing like, that might have happened. And if I listen to some R&B, Rain on Me, I'd be like, okay, I'm cool with it. Know what I'm saying?
Like, you'll literally be like, if the song played, Rain on, you'd be like, nah, let me put this weight back. I can't.
So I guess, you know what I'm saying? But if you listen to some, it starts just like eating at you. And as a DJ, I kind of like take advantage of that. When I want to see some ignorance, I will drop the right song, whatever it is at the time. You probably know it, you probably heard it, but that song is the right song. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be strategic about when you use it. If I want to see some slowness, I'll drop a slow song. But it's all about the highs and lows. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need the ignorance. Sometimes you need to be involved in it, enthralled in it. You gotta be ignorant sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta hold that peak for a little bit and then dip down and calm down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe wind slow for me. TikTok for you, babe. Like, just like that. You know what I'm saying? You need that. Then you gotta start picking it back up and just, just ride out that wave.
Is it more of a science or is it more of an art? To DJing specifically. Like when you're like, I guess like when you're coming in for like a Saturday night, and the party starts at what, like 10 p.m. ends at around 3 a.m. Like, what is your mindset going in terms of like, okay, typical setting is like we're at a club and stuff like that. So like, what's your mindset going in terms of, okay, how am I going to zoom?
Yeah, okay. So it depends on what type of event it is. A party, right? Okay. What are the demographics of this party? Is it mostly Latin? Is it mostly Caribbean? Is it mostly African? Is it mostly Black African American? So these metrics matter. Those would be, depending on the highest demographic, the high points will be songs that are catered to them. So like, say if it's an older crowd, maybe I'll throw like Poison by It's Driving Me Out of My Mind. That was a hype song for that demographic. But if it's like a African song, maybe, Fall by DeVito might be, at that time, might be the hype song. So, depending on the demographic, I kind of tailor to those different groups. I missed the second part of your question. Like that.
Yeah, that's basically it. I think because I think that's a great point. But the idea I was thinking about was like, I guess typically when they go to a party is like, how do you determine when you want to hype people up and when you bring it down? Because I remember sometimes going to parties where it's like, like will like be playing, right? And you would have some DJs that just keep going with it, like keep. And I can't, like, I have some stamina, but I can't keep breaking it down for 10 minutes straight. Like, I can't be like, I'll get like exhausted, right? So like, how do you determine when it's like, all right, let me get these people hyped up, and then I'm like, all right, they probably tired. Let me just bring it down.
Yeah. So for a good while, I would play "Dreams and Nightmares" by Meek Mill. I used to pray for times like this, around like this. I had to grind like that, shine like this. And then I would play the song "Palance." 1, 2, 3. you know what I'm talking about. You know the song where you jump left to right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, like I've been to a lot of like when we were going to the same school together. It's like that'll be a combo that you'll play quite a bit.
Because the logic behind that is, well, the logic I had was, Dreams and Nightmares, I'm not going to get the whole crowd. I will get enough people, it kept growing, to hype in and make a moment. People on the side or watching, put it on Snapchat is good promo, good advertisement, because, people who don't know the song would be on the side and just be recording, and then they'll just, by next time, they'll be ready to start joining in. You know what I'm saying? So it became like a whole mob. But after that, I played Palance because I knew that there are people who are rested or on the side, and this will get them to start moving again. Because you can't really stand still with that song. So it was nice. It was a nice little break for, like, Dreams and Nightmare would be a nice break for the crowd, to get their rest. But it also is like a thing. You know what I'm saying? People get hype. It'll drive people's attentions, and it's good for promotion. Then Palance would get everybody together, and after you jumped around for like, I don't know, 3 minutes, you're probably pretty tired. So I would, probably transition to something a bit more smoother or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta think about people's stamina. I was a dancer in parties before I was a DJ. So, I would figured, would I be tired at this time? And a lot of times when I'm DJing, I'm moving too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm behind the booth, but I might be like, I'm almost all the time I'm dancing with the music. I'm not a DJ that goes on the mic, because when I was a dancer, I'd be tight. I'm dancing with somebody. We're Brooklyn at? We're Bronx at? Like, okay. The song continues. Where my 90 babies at?
I didn't want to hear your raspy I don't want to hear your raspy voice, yo. I don't want to hear. I just want to hear the song, yo. Like, I don't understand, yo. You're not hyping it. I think it's very rare to find someone that does it so well.
Yes.
That you feel just hyped up and it's like, oh yeah, they're adding to the environment. But most of the time they're just like interrupting the song as it goes, breaking up the flow of it. They're just like, no one wants to hear your dry voice. Get a lozenge, bro. Like, whoa.
And you're speaking really fast, so we probably can't understand what you're saying. Like, people just be more distracted, like, yo, why the music just stop? So by the time he said, what boss I do that? You're like, what? What just happened? So I used to get tight. I'm dancing with somebody, maybe I'm trying to slide the phone, and then
and it's really crazy because it's like it's statically just like that. It's like they go up straight to the mic and like, okay. They'd be like, "Where my Brooklyn people at?"
It happens every time. So I guess I had that anger and hate for DJs like that. And there's a lot of people. There's definitely people who do it really well. But from my experience, a lot of DJs I encountered didn't do it really well. And I realized, like, yo, music, like, no one's here to hear the DJ. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, like, the DJ for me should be in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should hear seamless transitions and it should all just kind of flow and make sense. There's definitely useful times to grab a mic. Hey, it smells like something in here. What's going on? Hey, if a fight is breaking out, something like, there's definitely a use for a mic.
Like, you need to be, like, you have to be able to, like, if something's going wrong, be able to identify and, like, let people know, like, yo, we can handle that. And it's like, I feel like it's understandable. It's like, it's like you're stopping the party because there's something important that's going to stop the party. It's like two people are getting into a fight and then you just see someone reaching for their pocket. You're just like, hold on, guys, hold on.
Exactly. And, like, you can definitely use a mic, but I think for the most part, I like if the DJ is just doing seamless transitions, I'm kind of talking about myself right now. I ain't gonna hold you. But at the end of the night, if I do a bad transition, I think about it. I'm like, yo, I remember in the transition between Happy and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, I messed up. My finger touched the jog wheel, and like, you remember that when that happened, Dan? And Dan be like, yo, what are you talking about? I had some cheeks. That's all I knew.
Especially when I was single at times, it's like, as long as I hit my quota of like 10, I was good. I was like, yo, bro, it was a good night. If I didn't hit anywhere, if I hit below that quota, if I hit below 5, I was like, bro, I don't know what you're doing with the music today.
So, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm rambling about the DJ days, but yeah, man, DJing is just, I like to say, you ask if it's a science or art. I think it's a little bit of both, I guess. There's a science behind the BPM, for example, you know, how fast it's going to make your heartbeat faster, make you want to dance more. There's an art in the sense of, like, you know, the turntablist that scratches left and right, I'm not a turntablist. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, yeah, I can scratch behind my back. That's not me. If you hire Dr. Griffs to DJ your event, you are not gonna get that. I'm just not gonna lie. But I feel like I make up with it with the smooth, seamless transitions. And sometimes knowing when you don't need a seamless transitions. You know what I'm saying? You know the song Fever by Vibes Cartel?
Yes.
XO, My Love is very special. It has a very distinctive sound. So for some songs, when there's a very distinctive intro, you don't need a seamless transition. Sometimes you can hype the crowd up by just bringing it in, dropping it in. So the crowd start to realize, like, they might be dancing somebody, like, dum, 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 dum. That's Back That Thing Up by Juvenile, 99 2000s, but has a very distinctive dum, 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 dum. So most party goers will recognize that song, and they're like, wait a minute. So they're waiting for it to drop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I love the aspect of like when the DJ, and you do this well, right? And I've been to parties where other DJs do it well. It's like while we're already dancing in the song, you know, like, start the other song within that song, or like aspects of the song that it doesn't interrupt the song that's going on right there, but it also indicates to everybody at the party that, like, oh, this is about to go down. So it's like, that gives me enough mental preparation to be like, okay, do I still want to, all right, let me position my feet to, like, get into a better framework for, like, when this other song's going to come up, because I know I'm going to need more stable footing for the song, or like, do I just start to end the dancing session with the partner I'm with to move on, and just maybe it's more of like I'm just going to do this dance move by myself, I'm going to meet up with some friends or whatever. It's like, it kind of gives indication, like, okay, when should I start moving, or how should I start changing up my activity within the party?
And it might be a time where, you know, there's someone you really want to dance with, but they are dancing with someone else, so you need, like, that buffer song.
Exactly.
Before you get to the main event. So you're like, you know, you got to be strategic about how you go.
I forget the name of, you're going to know exactly what it is because you play the song so many times, but is or let me not put too much pressure on you, but is the song that is like, you pick your find your lover or something. Oh no, wait, no. Hold on, I'm gonna edit this out. Hey, oh, looking good, babe, looking good.
Thank you.
I'm actually okay.
Hey, how you doing? Okay.
Yes.
Can you see me? I don't know if she can see me.
She can see you, but she can't hear you.
Okay, gotcha.
Tell me said hi back.
She said hi back.
Okay.
That's really funny. Like, me and Aline were talking about, like, a song that you want to dance with, like, your lover with, and then you just call.
Aww.
Yeah, looking good though.
Say hi.
Okay, I'll talk to you later today, but enjoy the event today.
Thank you. Will do.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
We'll edit that out.
You about to say some fuck shit. You about to he said that song, you got a chick with the the universe intertwined. It said Damn.
Daughter was like, hold up, wait.
Hold up, wait a minute.
No, but remember that there's a song that you usually play towards the end of the night, and it's like like you find that that special something about like you find that special girl you want to dance with. You know what I'm talking about?
I got somebody. She's a beauty.
Yes, that song. That
song. No Letting Go by One Wonder.
Yeah, so it's like so like when that song comes on, it's like I can't be dancing with like a random person, and then I'm like, there's an actual person I want, and then it immediately shifts. I need some time to be like, let me find my girl. Oh, I see she's dancing with someone else. Let me push this guy out the way.
Respectfully, or disrespectfully, depending on how you feel.
It depends on how big he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's pretty big, you gotta be respectful. If he's
can I get that dance, please?
Yeah. So it's like the vibe of the music. But there's something you mentioned that like made me think about this, right? So when I guess a DJ on average is coming up with is getting prepared to do their thing. Do you think of it as, is it like choreography or is it more freestyle?
It depends on the DJ and the event. Festivals, for example, like a giant festival, and there's like paying, I don't know, the EDM DJ to be in a booth. You know some giant festivals? That is a list. Go down.
Got it.
Events that I do, there are some songs that I know I will always play together. I'm like, these songs just work well together. These songs transition well into each other or out of each other. So there's sometimes I pair songs up in my head, and I'm like, I know I'll play these two together. Who Am I by Beanie Man. Sim Simma, who but the keys to a bimmer? Oh, the girls them sugar. And there's a song called Simmer by like Mahalia Jackson and Burna Boy. I think it's Burna Boy or Mr. Easy. One of them. They sampled, Simmer sampled Beanie Man's Who Am I?
Oh, okay.
You know, the chorus goes Sim Simma. That's how they got the name Simmer for that song. So I will always probably play those two songs together. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All Falls Down and Heard Him Say, the Kanye West songs, they are similar BPM. So I think All Falls Down is like 91 BPM and Heard Him Say is like 95 BPM. So it's an easy transition from 91 to 95.
And that would be like the scientific part of it, the BPM.
Yeah. That's more science than art, because like it's just like matching up the sounds together. But the art comes in with your like, some completely two different genres of music. I like the song "The Weeknd" by SZA, and I would like match that with a reggae song called "Throat." So that's where the art would go. Throat has a very like it's a nasty song. If you're under damn near 25, 30, it's an X-rated song. So I'm not recommending you listen to it. Don't go to your church and listen to the song "Throat" by Gage. Don't do that. But I feel like the art comes in when you're like, yo, these two songs will work well together. Like I made a whole mix dedicated to like a song that I feel like really go well together. Sometimes the juxtaposition is just a crazy part. Do you know the song "Bike Back" by Charlie Black? Bike Back.
No.
You might have seen the video recently. You might.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes.
So that has a heavy bass line song. And then there's a song "Nobody." That song.
You play.
I married them together. I kid you not. I was practicing one time, and I was like, "Yo, wait a minute. That's like 117 BPM. Bike Back's like 119 BPM. What happens if I put them together?" And at that moment, light bulb blew, because you get the older crowd who likes "Nobody," and also that's a romantic song. That's a nice little slow whine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then Bike Back starts, the instrumental for that starts playing. Boom, boom, boom. So you gotta, do I do a slow line? Do I hit the you like, oh, what? You got options. You like, do I hit over the slow line by keep listening to Nobody, or do I go crazy by listening to Bike Back? You got options. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, it's like you made peanut butter and jelly.
I made a peanut butter jelly sandwich, right?
Yeah.
I give you the PB&J. At this time, you have the option to take off and just eat the jelly, or just eat the peanut butter, or eat them both together. So that's why I love a good mix. You have options. You're like, yo, do I want to listen to the mix all together, or do I just want to listen to this part of the mix?
Wow. Wow.
That was a beautiful analogy. Thank you for alley-ooping that PB&J analogy.
Nah, that's literally when he's, well, you already know I can't eat peanut butter, but
yeah, sorry. Ham and cheese analogy.
Ham and cheese. But no, it just made sense. It's like you have, like, when you really think about it, like the person that came up with peanut butter and jelly is like weirdo, right? It's like you take jelly and then you take peanut butter and you're like, oh, two polar opposite kind of things, but then when they work so well together.
Yeah. Right.
So I've been told.
Or milk and you don't even eat. I don't know, man. Curry and goat. I don't know. you eat curry goat, right?
Yeah.
Who thought to put curry on some goat? Like who thought about it?
That's true. There's a lot of things that's just like weird that like people just thought about. It was just like, yeah, it makes sense now. It's just like part of life.
Black people in anime. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Like the coolest thing is like a black person with a samurai sword to me. That's just a cool combination.
Facts. Okay. I see you out there.
That's just a cool combination. I don't know what else to describe it. It's a very cool combination to me. But yeah, thank you for that insight into the mindset of a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if y'all are interested, I will drop my masterclass below, my Patreon. So if you want to listen to some DJ knowledge, cash at me $500 and we'll figure this out.
You know, that could be so hilarious. That like, what's stopping a person from? I'm not going to share these ideas with you. I'm not going to do it. Y'all not going to take our money making ideas for the future. Not going to do that. But there's this one song that I wanted to bring up to you, right? And it's so funny. I've been listening to this song so often. When it first came out, because my girl introduced it to me. When it first came out, I was just like, I'm not about to listen to this. But then she made me listen to it, and then it's a part of my playlist now whenever I go work out. Do you know the song Up by Cardi B?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I listen to that song like almost every playlist. And I'm just like, there's a line in there. Let me look it up real quick. I have it right here. It says, make a nigga act right. Broke boys don't deserve no pee. And then it has the girls playing in the background saying, I know that's right? I can't tell you. I think I know where it comes from, but I can't tell you like how hyped up that part of the song makes me be whenever I'm like working out or doing something. And I think it's like the idea of like, I think it's that primal thing of like, I think it's that primal thing that like, it taps into the part of like my psyche that's like, of course I want to be attractive to like women in general. And so I feel like it's almost like a low-key kind of like negative reinforcement to me saying like, oh, are you going to work under your potential? Are you going to be classified as a broke boy? And so it's like whatever I'm doing at the time, I'm like, nah, let me give it my best. Let me not be classified as a broke boy. And I don't know. It's just like whenever the beat is really good to the song, like I won't say the lyrics are like genius, right? But like the beat is really good to the song. I like it, and it hypes me up. There's a lot of parts that say up, which kind of matches with what I'm doing when I'm working out with lifts. It's like up, moving up.
That's very deep, very very profound.
But I'm not saying Cardi B is a lyrical genius or whatever. I'm just saying that line right there, that line right there, or that bar right there, kind of like triggers something in my brain to work harder. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I understand the logic for that. You're like, yo, you said, oh, that's right. That's right. So that's not bothering me. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, there's some things that trigger in my head instantly. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this. I had to grind like that, shine like that. That's what it is. Anytime I would hear that song, like, ding. So I understand how, like, one little line could really change the meaning of the song to you, or just how it can affect you. Like, I remember, Bobby Shmurda?
Yeah.
He threw the hat in the air and life changed after that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his magnum opus, his the song that made him
magnum opus.
The Hot Ninja, the Hot Nigel, however you want to censor yourself. That song, there's a line in there that says, "I've been selling crack since the 5th grade." And there's power in that line. I'd imagine he said that out of bravado, saying like, yo, I'm really about this life. I've been doing stuff that might have been illegal since 5th grade. While you were in school, I was on the block. And there's power, and I think there's pride in that line. But for me, I listened to it when I was like 18 or 20. It was probably about like 18 when I first listened to it. I appreciated dance. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe a couple years later, I listened to it again, and I'm like, wow, I've been selling crack since the 5th grade. I said, yo, I was playing chess in the 5th grade. I was enjoying life. I said, yo, I hope you could have got hugged in the 5th grade. I hope you were loved. Now, I don't know anything about his background other than I've been selling crack since the 5th grade. So I imagine it's not the happiest environment to be in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That is a crazy line. I've been selling crack since the 5th grade. Because it's like, I feel like you can kind of like, especially when the song has a good beat behind it, and like it's just like they're moving through the lyrics pretty quick. It's like sometimes you don't be registering it. It's like it was like really funny, like when you go to parties, and then you just, especially like you see people dancing to songs, and then you see certain people dancing to certain lines that are directly kind of disrespectful towards them, in a sense. I'm not going to go into details like which demographics of people that are getting disrespected by certain lines, but it's like if you're really paying attention to the words, you're just like, this is really insulting to like who you are as a person. But it's like because there's a good beat and you're feeling yourself and stuff, it's like you're not even registering it. But it was like, I think it was like very recently that I actually started to try to like listen to the lines of music, and I feel like that's why. That's one of the things why I have never really gotten too deep into music before, because music at the time when my friend groups in like high school and middle school was introducing it to me was on things that I just couldn't relate with, like being like living that thug life, or like selling crack at the 5th grade, or like hurting people violently, stealing stuff like that. Things that like the rappers at the time, or like the rappers in the songs that my friends were introducing me to, their lifestyles and what they felt was success in life just didn't resonate with me as a person. And so I kind of, I guess subconsciously kind of pushed away from music, because I wasn't introduced to like people like J. Cole or Big Sean. I really like listening to Big Sean now, right? But like very, very more conscious, focused rappers, people that are like talking about like things that are like real and true, and like actually wanted to make some kind of like positive impact in terms of their words for people. Like that's why I think you mentioned it earlier, boisterous rap.
Oh yeah, braggadocious is what I said.
Yeah, braggadocious rap is like, that never resonated with me. It resonates with me a little bit when I'm like working out, because I take the hype and like make it flow while I'm working out.
Or if the direct deposit hit your bank account, you say, okay. Commas, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so like overall when it came to like music, especially when introduced when I was younger, it was just like what they were rapping about just did not resonate with what I felt was what I was looking for in life and what I deemed to determine as successful and stuff. So it's only literally through my friendship with you, and also like my girl, she was very big into music. Like she probably was like along the same lines of listening to J. Cole's album at like 12:30 on Friday, right? So
I happened to be awake. I didn't stay up to listen to it.
Right. Of course. We know. But like it's through like my friendships and relationship that like I was able to like, oh, there's more to music than I initially thought there was, you know.
Preach, and like I feel like there's definitely a place and time for all types of music. I found it interesting that whenever I'm like biking home, so I have to go through. It's not the worst neighborhood, but it's not the best neighborhood. So I think about the music I'm listening to when I'm biking home, and like I might be listening to like a love song, but then I'm like, wait, I'm about to bike home. Let me play something else so you don't try me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I'm listening to Making My Way Downtown, Walking Fast, Faces Fast, and Homebound, you know, I don't look as, you know, intimidating as I could be. But I'm also thinking, why do I want to look intimidating? Maybe because it's just like how I grew up. I feel like if you look intimidating, people are less likely to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a weird cycle of like, I kind of want to break that habit of having to put on some bravado, like I'm spinning the block, like I'm from the Skreets, like I have to run up on people, but I also want to keep myself protected. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about like the juxtaposition of getting to campus. You know, you're from Brooklyn, and you know, coming to campus, you know, you could wear the color red if you want to. You could wear all blue outfit.
All the colors of the rainbow belongs to you.
You can wear whatever you want. You can dress however you want. And I remember how jarring it was for me where I'd see, you know, laptops, MacBooks with the Apple logo glowing, and iPhones just left unattended in the lounge. It's like, yo, this doesn't make sense to me. Like I had to kind of break. I was like, what's going on?
Passwords unlocked.
Yeah, you know, it really was like it just a whole new world. And then, you know, I got to dress however I wanted to. I didn't have to feel threatened. I don't know. It just, but when I would leave that environment, it's because it felt like a bubble. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a bubble atmosphere to that. So when I leave that environment, I feel like I'd go from saying hi to every black person I'd see on campus to, you know, I'm off campus, headphones in, don't talk to me. And it's like, I wish I was able to have that energy everywhere I went, but realistically, that, you know, that wouldn't work that way. To some people, I look like I'm a threat. To some people, I look like a lick. You know what I'm saying? To some people, oh, there's a sir over there we called it, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to figure out which environment you're in sometimes. So I think for me, the music I'm listening to does affect that, the energy I give off, if that makes sense. If I'm about to go home to my girlfriend, you know, I'm probably listening to some, you know, loving music. I don't want to be walking into the house like I'm a gorilla in a poop. I just love that line. That line, that song, it hypes up the crowd. It's like every single time.
I'm a gorilla in the
you know, every time it hypes up the crowd.
That's
so that's my instinct. I go to. I'm like, I'm trying to snap, but I don't know, man. I've been trying to. I realize whenever I listen to like hype rap music, or whenever I worked out, I'd listen to like the hardest rap music, where like I'm gonna kill somebody, blow someone up, spin the block, pop, 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 and I'm like, yo, Dr. Griffs, what if you like listen to, I don't know, happier music while you're working out? I said, what type of effect would that have on your psyche and the actual, like, would you like working out more? Do you have to be in this angry, aggressive state to work out? What if it's to some like waterfalls? Like, what do you have when you hit Ultra Instinct? And when I started coming to that, you know, realization, it was like 3 a.m. So I was like, I'm not about to work out right now. Let me just go to sleep. But it does make me think, what happens if I listen to some, you know, One Love, One Heart, while you're doing a 500-pound set? Will you be in tune with the weights? What will happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like especially when it comes to like working out, I think it's kind of like you got to determine the energy expenditure when it comes to like your workouts, right? So like there's certain emotional states or certain modes of being that just makes you able to like, I guess, like pull out more energy that's inside of yourself, right? So like there's this one workout I did where I was just listening to gospel music, but I could not lift heavy during that time. It's like the gospel music, the state of being I was in was like a lot more patient and take my time with it. So like I would go through the workout a lot slower, feel the contraction a lot, hold the contraction for a lot longer. But if I wanted to lift heavy, I had to listen to some like You Say Run, like super hyped up kind of like thing in order to get the energy out of there. So I think it's like the mode of being will pull out more energy, you know. And kind of going back to your point that you mentioned in terms of playing certain music while you're in a certain environment to kind of give off like an aura of intimidation is something like, I guess like you probably experience this too, like when you're walking down the streets and like you're passing by somebody that's just like rapping something, you know, mad loud, right? I've experienced that quite a bit where they're rapping something mad loud. And before when I was younger and I had no experience with self-defense or analyzing people, I always get intimidated and kind of scared, like when I'm walking and like someone's just moving about, just rapping a certain, like a very aggressive song, and I'll be like, you know, lucky, like kind of get intimidated, kind of get scared. But then as I got older and started to actually like kind of casually train in like martial arts and like exercise and like get better at reading people, is like when I pass by someone that's doing that, I noticed there's a lot of tension in their movements, and there's a lot of tension. There just seems to be a lot of visible tension in their body. So it could be that they're trying to put on that energy of intimidation so that they can protect themselves when they're walking through an environment they're uncomfortable with, right? So that's something interesting that I didn't really perceive before, but it's like I'll walk past, like it's just like a thing that I noticed, like I used to walk past people like that and get kind of like scared, kind of like almost like let me clutch my purse kind of energy. But now I just walk past it and I don't really feel that same level of like fear, right? But it could also go back to something we talked about before about the difference between the first Hokage and the second Hokage, right? The idea of like, if you perceive yourself as like really powerful and strong, you ain't worried. You're more willing to give people chances and be more open with people. But if you perceive yourself as like being valuable, like the second Hokage, you're kind of like, yo, let's get some safety measures in place to make sure things don't go down or crazy.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, when you was describing that, I just can't imagine, like, think of the hoodest of the hoods, right? The more of the projects, you're walking down, and someone is just singing, making my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast. I might be more terrified by them and then
that's a whole serial killer right there. That's a whole.
Yeah, I might be like, yo, let's leave that guy alone. This frolicking through the fields, just skipping.
Yo, making my way down. You know he's making his way downtown. He's got a gun in his back pocket, ready to go.
Let's leave that guy alone. I don't know. I wish, you know, there's more acceptance in what you're listening to. Just, you know, I wish you didn't have to put on the bravado. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to put on the, but it's the environments that we grew up in where it just wasn't socially acceptable and or safe, or maybe it's so intertwined that you feel like it's not safe. But like sometimes it definitely isn't safe. But like I think you're always so tense that like it feels like you walk outside, you're gonna get jumped. But then I'd imagine out of 7 days out of the week, it doesn't happen every single day. You know what I'm saying? It might happen a couple times in a month, it might happen a couple times in a year, but that affects you long term. So you think every single day that's a high possibility.
And you know what's interesting about that from my personal experience, so I don't know if any other person that's been through my particular set of circumstances will confirm this, but from my personal experience, there's a period of time where I was being assaulted quite a bit, more than the average person would probably experience, right? And one thing I realized very quickly, is the more tense you are, the worse off you're going to be. So the more hyped up or tense or feeling of like because I think the feeling of being tensed up and hyped up is a feeling of like you don't know what's going to happen. So your body's trying to get prepared for any particular scenario that could go down, but it kind of locks you up for it. So as I gained, I guess, more experience points in that period in time in my life, right? You know, you gotta have some humor to it to like kind of get through it, right? But as I gained more experience points in that, is like the level of tension that happened when I came to altercations in the past like that, it reduced because it became like certain things you kind of just start to expect to happen, certain combos or certain behavioral patterns from your aggressors. You start to be like, okay, this is generally what people do is like one thing, like one example is like you're not going to expect a kick unless you're on the ground, right? Because most people are very uncomfortable with like having one of their legs up in the air, so most of it is just like hands. So most of the time you're not worried about that. You're not worried about. So it's like certain things is like you become less and less tense about, because you're more and more prepared for like what actually is more likely to go down. Right, so it's like that. I think a lot of attention and a lot of anxiety and worry comes from the fact that people are ignorant of what potentially could happen, and so their brain goes into that mode of like anything could happen, and they just become super prepared for it. But being prepared for everything makes you not prepared for everything. I don't know if that made sense.
Oh no, you didn't run that back. Say that one more time.
Okay. If you are prepared for everything, you will not be prepared for anything. So meaning that if you have your energy and your intention divided amongst every possible outcome, you won't have enough energy and attention to be prepared for any possible outcome. So for example, if say example, you have a percentage of 100% focus and energy, right? And there's 100 things that potentially could happen to you. Potentially, right? Let's say 100 of those things each requires at least 10% of your energy and focus, right? So if you're dividing equally focus and attention for everything, you're only giving 1% to everything. So you might be consciously aware that somebody can come at you and pull out a knife on you, right? But if that situation requires at least 10% of your focus, and you're only able to give 1% of your focus, you are not prepared to handle that person. You are aware of it, your body's tensing up and prepared for it, but your body's is multitasking on every other possible thing that could happen at that time. But that's just my personal experience. Probably like some self-defense practitioners or some martial artists might have a more adapted idea or perspective on it, but that's just how I formatted my experience and like how I've been able to like I wouldn't say better results, but feel more comfortable defending myself in particular situations.
Anime. John Ken, Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
He puts all his men into his one fist, and that's why it's so powerful. He puts like probably 80% of his energy to that thing, or the Kamehameha, all the energy into one little beam. Versus, they do the explosions a couple times. The barrier explosions. When the Kamehameha is usually like, I haven't seen anyone die off of
A comment.
The explosion. Off of like an explosion.
I mean, Spirit Bomb, you know, it's like...
Spirit Bomb is a condensed bomb.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, like Vegeta, he did that aerial explosion. He's the only one that died. He hit his stone and died.
He tried his best. He's also going against Majin Buu, a person that literally regenerates from everything. Like, it's like... I think if he did that against Frieza, I think Frieza would have been done, you know? Or
but he didn't.
Okay.
Majin Buu got hit by a Spirit Bomb. He ain't regenerating that. Condensed area. So... I mean, like anime, the spirit gun, all the energy into that one pointer finger. Like anime proves your theory in terms of offense, and also defense. Like you see the armament hockey, how like they'll get their arms like an armament hockey versus the whole body. So I think there's definitely truth to what you're saying.
Like even with the like Hunter x Hunter, right? It's like how they explain how to be defensive with your nen. Right? Remember how they were like, I think it was in the Green Island arc where they were explaining like, oh, you gotta distribute your nen to certain parts of your body. Like if someone's about to attack you, if someone's about to attack your arm, transfer more of your nen to your arm, right? But it also applies the other way, that if you have your nen equally distributed throughout the entire body, right? Like you're giving 1% of your nen for everywhere. If somebody comes at you with a punch that's like that you need 15% of your nen in that particular area to defend against, that 1% of your nen is not going to block the damage. It's just going to just be like, whoop, out the way.
Or even My Hero Academia. I feel like that does a really good job with Deku. Like 10% of my power here, or he does do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making this up, right? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely truth to that. This episode, I can't even figure out the transition to get back to where we initially started. We talk about music, and then we talk about anime and music in the anime, intertwining and all that. And this is where you only get it here, the Village and the Skreets. You know, we have content that has a wide spectrum of information.
It's like one of the things we were mentioning in like an episode before is the idea of using our love and like understanding of anime as more of like a jumping off point into other topics. So like this was like talking about things like music, which obviously, as you guys have probably seen through this conversation, you know, Dr. Griffs is more aware of music and stuff than me, but you know, it's like diving in a whole bunch of different stuff, you know, that we find will be interesting and cool to talk about, and even bring a reference to the things that are just in our head about. Yeah, but anyway, guys, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Share down below certain lines or certain phrases from songs that really speak to you or that you really find interesting and want to dive into and stuff. Dr. Griffs, do you have any comments or anything you want to express?
Yeah, thanks for listening. Yo, what's your favorite hype song in the comments? Know what I'm saying? What line will really trigger something in you? For me, for a good while, it was, I used to pray for time like this to rhyme like this. I had to grind like that to shine like this. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I hear that song, or the beginning of Back That Thing Up, Back That Dang Up, Back That AZZ Up, don't like that song automatically triggers something. And don't get me started with all the reggae music I listen to, you know what I'm saying? She's listen, okay, the DJing is something I've invested a lot of my life into. I guess I'm still living, so I might invest more of my life into it. And I don't know, I just like listening to music. So thank you all for listening. Check us out for next week's episode, and who knows who we might have next or what topic we might cover next.
Yes, for sure. Again, as you guys probably know, links down below in the description to both my channel and Dr. Griff's channel separately. So give those a check out if you like our take on music, and you like especially if you like the background music that we play in all of these videos that we put out. All of them are created by or resident DJ Dr. Griffs. So check out his channel. Check out his channel if you like his music, and you know, if you like takes on anime and discussion stuff like that, check out my channel as well. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you. Like this video, comment if you had any thoughts, and of course, obviously, subscribe if you want to see more of us. So we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.